Frank King, always a smile on his face. Frank, and a cheesy smile too. Look, I love it. We're both drinking out of very cheap coffee cups. Actually, not very good for the environment. And why are you drinking out of that cheap coffee cup, Frank?
Well, it's good news, Mike, because I am in Vancouver, Washington. I am doing a speech at 1:30 for a
Nice.
mental health nonprofit for $7,500 plus travel. So I could have spent more on the cup, I guess.
Awesome. We are live, Frank and Mike. And we're live because we wanted to have some time to share about an event that we're doing. Frank and I have come together. We've known each other now for coming on a few years. Frank started out as a client and is still a client and become a great friend. And we decided to do something together. And we are going to be doing a webinar that is taking place on Tuesday. The information is going to be in the comments below with the registration link. It's free. It's what is it? Tuesday, the 16th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Let me get the
19th, Mike, but that's okay.
19th. The 19th. That's right. I just want to get the dates straight. The
Mike can come
19th.
with calendars.
Yeah, unless I have a calendar, I'm in trouble. It's the 19th, but the information is below in the comments. But Frank and I have been working together, and Frank's a great speaker, a speaker coach, trainer, TEDx record holder globally, helps people get what TEDx is. And together, because we're working together, we realize that we can make a really big impact if we combined both of our experience and knowledge. So you want to share, Frank, some of the reasons why we came together, and then we're going to also get into sort of the exciting parts of what we're going to talk about during the webinar.
Yes, but first, another piece of good news, Mike. I actually made contact, or someone made contact with me for TEDx Taft Avenue, which is last July 23rd. At the time, she was just a Toastmaster. And I did a free Ideal to TEDx thing for her members. And then she got a license to do a TEDx. And she said to me, "You should send your speakers to me, Frank." And so 4 of my speakers were on that TEDx, and as was I. And
Whoa.
I got an outreach from a friend, Kimberly Crow, who has a friend in Laguna Beach who wants to do a TEDx on the ocean, maintaining the world's oceans to save the planet. And since the young woman who put on the TEDx Taft Avenue that I met on LinkedIn is doing another TEDx in December on the environment and climate change, I connected this gentleman, Rich, with my friend from LinkedIn, Jennifer. So not only did I get a TEDx, but Rich just landed that TEDx without having to audition, thanks to LinkedIn. So and Mike and I met because I was doing a poor job on 5 social media platforms, a really bad job on 5. I should go deep, not wide. And just by chance, Mike, I got an outreach from Mike that week. "Hey, would you like to go deep on LinkedIn? I believe in joining the conversation in the client's mind." And I thought, would I? So I watched Mike's 45-minute video about why that would be a good idea. That was 2 years ago this past August, and decided that's how I'm going deep. And I signed up for 3 months, and no conversions until day 86. And then 86, I'm getting nervous. And then day 86, I got a conversion coaching fee. And then another one. And I thought, aha, it works. And I think my gross so far in the last 2 years is $80,000 in speaking fees. I've got another 2 people circling the airport at $10,000 each that found me on LinkedIn.
So you're talking gross specifically from the LinkedIn activity channel, because I think you're doing multiple 6 figures in total.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
in total.
Just from Clout Selling and Mike and this LinkedIn program I'm doing with Mike is one of the very few things that actually had an ROI in the last 37 years of my career. I mean, I've been overpromised and underdelivered. I can't tell you how many times. Mike underpromises and overdelivers, and I think $80,000 to $100,000 just from working with him is pretty much an overdelivery.
Nice. So we realized that because Frank's a leader in the speaking industry, that coming together we can make a bigger impact for many more speakers. The reality is that I am a socially conscious business person. And what that means is that I care not only about my business and my clients' success, but I also care about the impact they can provide the world. I think the world is in dramatic chaos, or as one of my mentors, Mark Gaffney, says, the world is in outrageous pain, and the only solution is outrageous love. My personal opinion, and I've only spoke, a handful of times. It's not my well, I'm going to do a TEDx, right, Frank? It's not
Yes,
my
sir.
thing. My thing is to empower other leaders to make a bigger impact in the world through business and LinkedIn and marketing automation. And the the joy I get is when I can work with people like Frank in the mental health area and help get them 10, 20, 40, 50 more talks on mental health, because mental health is a big conversation right now. And if he goes and speaks in front of 50 or 100 people, Frank will share a story later, or maybe not even today on the webinar. For sure, we go into detail. He might very well save a few people's lives.
Mhm.
And that's at the one end of the spectrum. In the middle end of the spectrum, help people, create, better mental health for themselves. Um, so that's a pretty big deal. We have a lot of great clients that are doing great work around the world, and so to me, I get really jazzed up when I can work with customers that make a bigger impact, because uh, it's more needed now than ever. So when Frank and I were working together, we said, hey, what about coming together?
Mhm.
Right. And I think also, I'll stop sharing the screen because there's a couple of points that um, how do we get us back to like this lie, like, so we're not that.
Yeah. Who's that?
I don't know. That's good thing she had her clothes on. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I pushed the button on Restream, and some Restream thing. I don't know. They just upgraded this whole platform, so I'm not an expert. The bottom line is, in my opinion, a community is super important, and it's needed as things become unglued globally. And there's more diverse of crazy separation. Unity and community is what's going to help us all stay together, stay mentally fit, and excel. And so when Frank and I have an opportunity to work together, it's, I think, a new model. The old model of business is it's a deal. I win, you lose. That's a model that was in the 50s and the 60s and 70s. Now the model is, and I take it one step further: win, win, win. And there's also one more win. So the win-win, the win-win is like, all right, Frank and I are going to work together, and it's going to be good for both of us. And then the third win is going to be good for anyone that's going to be in our program. And
Mhm.
the fourth win is the most important to me, is it's going to be a win for our customers.
Yes.
That's
Most
where the passion comes in.
most of my speaker coaching clients, all of my speaker coaching clients, I ask them, do you want to make money speaking? Yes. Do you want to make a living speaking? Yes. But here's the linchpin question. Do you want to make a living speaking and make a difference? Yes.
Correct. And then the ones that don't are the ones that are really going to end up in your world anyway. And that's fine, because there's people that just want to make money and they don't actually care about their impact. But those people don't gravitate to you and I.
No.
There's other people for those people.
Yeah, that's true. And I like helping people make a difference. I tell my speakers as I'm coaching them, look, when you speak on this topic. After you get done, there will be people lined up to share a story or ask a question. You will have moved them. You will have given them permission to give voice to their feelings and experiences, things they've been holding back on. So it's got a ripple effect.
Yeah. Um, so that's really what inspires Frank and I. So we put together a training, and it is a webinar. The information's below. You can sign up. It's free. It's long. Frank and I, as we get into this, we wanted to make sure that we're providing you the information in the webinar so you can walk away and take action. Um, that's really crucial. No one needs more information. The world's filled with more information. Now with AI, it's super filled with more information. What we need is the right information that's actionable that we can actually deploy and then practice and work and get better. And so we went through. And just so if you don't know my background with Client Engagement Academy, we build online education platforms. We write curriculum, coaching, consulting, and software and certification programs. And I have a curriculum design, instructional design department. We write courses, and I'm not an expert in that area. I've done what everyone's done for the last 15 to 20 years. And you want to make an online course, you create an outline of the 5 or 8 topics, and then you go ahead and you flesh out the outline, and then you shoot it, and you may or may not add some quizzes, and then you get a course. Mm-hmm. The only problem is that you have not figured out actually before you started what's the outcome for the learner. Well, you got a course, you got information. It might be structured in 8 modules, but it's hard in most cases to actually figure out what the outcome is if you understand instructional design or curriculum design. So I learned all this from my peeps. So what Frank and I decided to do is make sure that there's an outcome to what we're doing for the speaker. Like, you're going to spend time with us. That's valuable. That's an asset. It's the thing we have the least of in most cases. So it's not a bunch of fluff. We're going to take you through not only some stories, but actual things that you can do to help increase your business.
Mike,
that's the good news. Yes, Frank.
It's a lot like speaking. When I coach my speakers, I say, when you speak, if you have a good idea, that's great. However, you're going to need to have learning objectives that sound like this. After they hear Mike and Frank speak, they will be able to. When they hear Mike and Frank speak, they will learn how to. What we provide, and I encourage my speakers to provide, is what's the next logical step after they hear you speak, after they learn how to and are able to. And we provide that next logical step. Here's what comes next.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that is awesome. So let's, I mean, this is why I keep learning more and more about, yes?
There's a sentence, Mike, and I think it applies here. A fill in the blank sentence. When I speak to speakers, when I speak to blank, and I say speakers, when I speak to speakers, I teach them how to blank, how to build that list, get lots of subscribers, then they can get lots of subscribers. So it's when I speak to blank, I teach them how to blank, they can blank. When I speak to speakers, I teach them how to build that list and, make the most of LinkedIn so they can build that list and make money.
Yes. I mean, that's why I think we have fun working together. I think it's super important. And we work well together because there's a lot of things organically that are totally aligned. So, when we do on LinkedIn profile and we do the headline, the formula for the headline is we help these people do that so that they get this.
Yes.
Very similar. Very similar. Let me see if I can. I want to get to the 3. I'm kind of going through.
No worries.
The slide. I want to get to the one with the
As you're doing
We
that, Mike, I had another conversation with a potential client yesterday. She had given a speech somewhere, decided that's what you want to do, but how am I going to do it? She comes home. It happened to be a Thursday. She's on LinkedIn. She sees my email, how to make money speaking. She's like, oh my God, how does he know I was thinking that? So, you need to be known before you're needed.
All right, so we're going to go into that one in a second because I took that from you with permission, of course.
Absolutely.
So this is what we're going to cover. And I was thinking about this morning because this is the first time we're doing it live together to promote that we'll be doing a webinar on Tuesday the 16th at
19th.
2. Ah, see, I got it wrong. Tuesday the 19th
That's
at
why I'm
2
here.
at 2 p.m. Eastern. I know it's 2 p.m. Eastern. Is it Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I was thinking about this morning, and one of the really fun things that we get to do is um, we get when we're teaching, we're teaching and also doing show and tell in a way that everyone that's learning can actually implement. So, for instance, like we are going to be, putting on this webinar, and so the webinar, what we're looking to do is help people. Well, secret number one: how to find your niche and polish your offer. Two, how to quickly reverse engineer and create a $180,000 plus speaking business. And three, how to get LinkedIn to instantly grow your list so that you're securing $5,000 plus speaking gigs with all expenses paid travel. So LinkedIn is a big part of this, and also Frank's genius on speaking and dialing in and raising prices. So this is at its core, you're going to learn how to dial in your speaking, create an $180,000 business, charge more, and actually build a list rapidly on LinkedIn. And then that part is pretty interesting because we'll get into that during the webinar. Now, good. We're going to teach this, right, Frank?
Yes, because you know why, Mike?
Tell us.
In speaking, and I do believe in any business, as an entrepreneur, the riches are in the niches.
Yes. And we're gonna cover that in detail. Um, the thing that I think is very cool is that we will also be sharing some stuff, in our follow-up conversations about webinars and about getting booked on TEDx. And
Mhm.
so what's super interesting is that like everything that we've done to get to, okay, we're going to create together a webinar. It was you and I came together. The reason why we came together, how we came together, how we structured it, what the webinar is, how we're promoting the webinar, how the webinar works, what the offer is, and then what is the follow-up from what are we going to deliver. We're teaching about how to grow your speaking business and also how to leverage LinkedIn to help radically grow it. In addition to that, this is the fun part, is that the movie about the movie is everything that we've done together to create this is also things that most every speaker will and should know about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I think is so fun because we're teaching, like in the webinar, you talk about the 7 things you do every day that
Yep.
are money making activities, right? Um, and so that's pretty cool. Now, if we were say corporate leadership, 2 people from corporate leadership, and we were going to do a training on corporate leadership, and there was a lot that went into the training, the people that were on the corporate leadership would only be interested in corporate leadership. They're not interested in all this other marketing stuff and list building stuff and all this other stuff. So that's what I was thinking this morning when we're talking about. Like, it's such a unique thing to do because not only we're going to share about how to be a better speaker and how to use LinkedIn, but there's so many other things that we've done that are, I think, should be very interesting to speakers in general because I
You know,
think you could tighten it up a little bit, but you get the idea.
you know why, Mike? Because people ask me, tell me about your job as a speaker. Okay, well, I'm not really a speaker. I'm really a sales and marketing guy who speaks. 85% of my time is sales and marketing, 5% writing, 5% traveling, 5% performing. The speaking is just the fun part. But the The job is a sales and marketing job, and that's where Mike comes in, LinkedIn comes in, newsletter comes in, building a brand, finding a niche. So and it's an epiphany to most speakers. What? Sales?
Yeah. Yeah, and all those parts, like finding your ideal target audience, and then the or your messaging.
Yep.
That's amazing. That actually, you said what I was trying to say with in a very concise way. So the fun part is like you're not only are we going to learn what we have up on the screen, but the other we dip into the other 85% that's necessary.
A
I think
friend of
that's
mine, I came up with this tagline for her because she helps speakers find stages, get seen. The tagline is visibility, brandability to profitability. If you're not being seen, you're being overlooked.
I like that. That's yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you. I wrote that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me just see if I want to. I'm looking through the thing right now. Share a few other slides without giving away the secret sauce. Let's see. Oh, I know you like this one. Hold on. Let me share this one. I'm gonna bring a few things up. It's kind of like those YouTube things where they listen to the music for the first time, the professionals, and they you see their reactions to the music. Well, Frank has no idea what I'm about to
Oh
share
boy.
right now. So
Am I dressed?
yeah, we always keep it clean now,
That's right.
There's this one. Remember this one?
I do.
Yes. Spoiler alert. This is one of the most favorite things about the program that Frank loves. And it's done for you, right?
Oh yes. Oh my. Oh God. My three favorite words in marketing: done for you. Boy, that was another reason to hire Mike and Clout Selling is because I create the content and the rest of it is done for me.
But this is one of our favorite slides.
I bring the ingredients, and Mike's team makes those meals.
Yeah. Chefs, big chefs. Let me see if I get something else up here.
And we have the recipe, Mike, to go further with the metaphor.
Yeah. And this is, we can talk a little bit about this. Let me share my screen again. There he is.
Gary V.
Gary V. Yeah. So if anyone is connected with Gary V, tell him right now Frank King and Mike Weiss are live, and we're talking about Gary V. And tell Gary V, hey, give us a shout out right now in the comments, Gary V. And this is one of the things that I think is also pivotal and crucial: the power of a speaker. A speaker can change your life.
Yeah.
A speaker can save a life, but that's at the extreme. A speaker can save a life. A speaker can change your life. So I want to thank Gary Vaynerchuk because unexpectedly he helped change my life. Unexpectedly, I say, because I was in New York City and digital marketer Ryan Dice and that crew, they're a client. They were a client of mine. I built all their certification programs. They were running agency events. They did one in New York, and Gary Vaynerchuk was the keynote. I was there living in New York. My wife's from London. She's heard of him, but she doesn't really know him. And so I was there with my wife, kind of going from booth to booth and working the outside of the room. And I said, you know what? Let's go listen to Gary V. He's awesome. So we went in the room and it was packed because, he's amazing. And he spent, a little more than an hour basically talking about LinkedIn. And if your ideal customer's on LinkedIn and your average lifetime value of your customers 5,000 to 5 million, and you're not killing it on LinkedIn right now, you're going to miss one of the greatest opportunities in business ever.
Mike,
Yeah.
my favorite part of the story is somebody asked Gary Vee, why are you giving all this information away about LinkedIn? You're giving away the secret sauce. And
He said,
that
I
everybody
will,
hears this, but
right. Go ahead. Keep it.
so everybody here, what were the percentages of all the people in the room here? What percent do you think would actually would even though they're nodding along, would follow up on his advice and do what he said he was doing?
He said that he goes around the world sharing his best stuff, and people are like alarmed. And he said, I never sweat it because only 5% of the people in any room ever will ever do anything with the information I share.
And you, Mike, as I recall, when he started talking about LinkedIn, your ears perked up and you actually took in the information and then you thought that's a great idea and I'm in that 5%. I'm going home and I'm changing my whole business model. Correct?
Well, like, I mean, not exact. I mean, yeah. I mean, yes. Okay. So I walked out of there with my wife, and I said, the first thing I said is that I'm taking back control. Those are my words, because I was growing Client Engagement Academy, building online education platforms, but ironically, being in digital marketing since 2005, and in 2012, one of the top people in the world for Infusionsoft. Um, so I've got, digital marketing chops. I sucked at trying to do digital marketing for myself. And I actually deferred to some friends that I've known for many years and hired them, and it just didn't go well. And I was at a really high degree of frustration. In fact, such a high degree of frustration. I'd raised from friends and family around about $500,000 with a plan to scale marketing and sales. And it failed. And I literally had to go back to them and say, you know what? We were going to go fast. Now we're going to grow, which sucks to do when you're CEO. So when I walked out of here, I said I'm taking back control, because I just knew what he shared and said was possible. One of the reasons why I knew it was possible is because I saw the movie in 2008 to 2010 when I was partnering with John Asseroff.
Oh God. Oh
And
Lord. I saw that movie too.
it was Facebook. Like, for a couple years, like Facebook, like if you were there, Facebook allowed you to crush it on Facebook with organic reach. And it was a pretty amazing time. No one knew exactly. Everyone was like, "Oh, Facebook is great. Facebook is great." And then 2 years later, after they actually dialed in their entire platform and their advertising, they took all the organic reach away, and you had to pay. And so the very same thing that we were doing for multiple years and getting 10, 20, 30,000 views in a video, we're getting 1,000. And then everyone was like, oh, Facebook sucks. What he said made sense to me, a decade later, because I had seen the movie. So I had really strong conviction, which is what it takes. That's why he said only 5% of it do it. I strong conviction because I trust the guy. I know what he's done. I've been following for a long time. Strong conviction because my ideal customer is on LinkedIn, and my lifetime value of the customer is over 5,000. So I checked that box. Strong conviction because I saw the movie before. It was just on a different platform. So I deployed this for me to help start to move my company. And it wasn't easy also. In the beginning, it took 5 months. And I almost quit like 3 times because I was doing these videos. And I was getting, before Gary, I was barely on LinkedIn. I had, like everyone else, I had LinkedIn for like, I don't know, 8 years or 9 years, but I never really used it. And then I started doing what he was saying, and I was getting like 50 views on a video, 75 views. And I'm like, man, what am I doing? And like multiple times I was going to quit. And then, I got a video from Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube. If you're just getting 75 views and you're frustrated, wake up. If I drop 75 people in your conference room twice a week, 75 people in your conference room, it probably wouldn't even hold it, would it? So stay the course. And I was like, yeah.
Well, Mike, let me ask you this, because this may be occurring to people who are listening, because I get this question all the time. Oh, you were working on LinkedIn, you're spending on LinkedIn ads? No, no, I'm not spending a dime on LinkedIn ads. Yeah, because that's what they think. When they think LinkedIn and you're marketing on there, you're spending money on ads. But I'm guessing you weren't spending money on marketing on LinkedIn in the form of ads.
No, because that's the opportunity. And we'll go into this during the our webinar, but the opportunity is their ad platform is inefficient.
Yeah.
So that creates this window. Um, anyway, we go into this during the webinar, but just to kind of put the bow on the story, after 5 months, it started to work, and then in the next year, I ended up with 1 million views of my content on LinkedIn, and that really changed everything. We started to build pipeline for the company, and we started to accelerate everything. And then, just so I don't leave a cliffhanger, because I think that's kind of crappy to open loops. We like open loops, from sales and marketing and a conversational strategy, but to leave an open loop is kind of rude. Um, COVID hit, tough on the education business because we charge like 20 grand plus to start. Most of my clients are speakers. But because I really had created a system on LinkedIn, I was then able to launch the LinkedIn agency. So, coming back to, what's the power of a speaker? Why I'm so excited to work with you and make a big impact in the speaking world together is because, look, Gary Vaynerchuk, he just was there flapping his gums about LinkedIn, right? That's what he knows. But he changed the trajectory of my business.
And
We've had
mine.
and like exactly. Look at if you and then yours, and then the people that you've connected with, and theirs.
Mhm.
That's how important I feel the speaking business is.
So, Mike, one morning I woke up and I looked at my LinkedIn timeline, and my post had 2 views, 1 share, a like. And I signed up with you. The next morning I woke up, because I always look at my phone first thing before I get out of bed in the morning, and my post had several hundred views and a half dozen people asking for my lead magnet. And I thought, oh dear God, I felt like the Sorcerer's Apprentice. When stuff starts coming at, I called up Mike. Mike, listen, you don't have to know a VA, do you? Because I'm never going to be able to handle this amount of engagement, which, by the way, is a great problem to have.
Mm.
And by the way, 12 months, in the 12-month period with Mike, 5 million. When somebody pitches me, we can help you get appointments and this and that, I send them screenshots. I go, listen, if one of your clients has screenshots that look like this, maybe we can talk. But of course, I never hear from them again.
Yeah. Well, it's probably the same with you, Frank. I mean, how many people really? I mean, you speak to a lot of people, but how many people really will put to work what you're sharing?
Do you want to know a dirty little secret, Mike?
Yeah.
Somebody asked me how many clients I can handle to coach speaking. I said, I don't know the upper limit. And here's why. Because even though they pay me every month, only 40% of people show up regularly. It's like the gym in January after your New Year's resolution. In January, the gym is jammed. By February, half those people are gone. By March, it's just the hardcore people and maybe another 5% new. So I can teach them, you can lead a horse to water, but yeah, it's even if they're paying for the advice, Mike, it's less than half of the group that's going to actually put it into practice.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, I wonder what the data is for a lot of different industries. I mean, we're talking about um, your industry was speaking in this because Vaynerchuk's a speaker, but I'm sure that it's I don't know if 80/20 is um, the right number, but there is a certain percentage that sign up for things they actually pay, and then they don't do anything.
Well, you were in the educational market. I bet you there are courses you created and others where they pay the money for the course, but how many people actually complete the online self-paced course? Is there a number?
Oh, there's a big number. That's what inspired me to get into it because the number is shocking. The number is, hold on a second,
You put Mike on the spot.
share. No, no, I know the number because I built my whole company around the number. I'm trying to figure out why I can't share. Hold on.
While you're doing that, Mike, should I mention that thanks to you and your Done For You newsletter service, that I'm averaging 1,000 new subscribers a month? Should I mention that?
You can, Frank.
I just did.
Yeah. Yeah. So what inspired me to actually get out of digital marketing and pivot into online education is that only 3 to 12% of the people that buy online courses complete.
Yes, exactly.
3 to
So
12%.
40% for my live courses is good, but I'm still, the majority don't. I mean, they sign up, they pay every month. I send them information every week, but
Yeah. Yeah, so we set out to fix that. I mean, we get 40 to 80%, but there's a lot that goes into that. To it's from the course design to making things less complicated, chunking things down. A lot of it has to do with accountability. People do much better when they run cohorts together as a group, as a community, unity, because accountability. Those do better. Of course, if people are buying courses for like, um, like accountants or attorneys or whatever, they need a continuing ed, then it's like almost 100% because they need that.
yeah, because they got to get the credit to renew their license or whatever.
Yeah, but it's 3 to 12%. It's still like that. And so, yeah, I put up on the screen free training, Supercharge Your Speaking Success, September 19th. Now I'm hoping I'm getting this right. Am I
You
getting
got the
this right?
19th right first time, Mike. Good job.
Yeah, it's particularly since I'm typing it too. So better get it right.
Yes.
The R register now. So this looks. Are you happy with this, Frank? This banner.
Yes, I would like more hair, Mike, but otherwise it's good.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do download this slide. We're just going to grab the first one. I would like more hair too. Like Frank, we got to be careful, all right? It's all relative here.
Yeah, people say I'm having a bad hair day. Boy, I'd love one of those.
So let me just download that. It's going to be downloaded into a PNG, and then we are going to download that. Then we're going to go to LinkedIn. And we're going to go to, let's see, events. I'm going to upload this cover image. See if this is going to work. Excuse me. I'm probably pushing the bandwidth of everything that's going on here, but let's see. Give it a second. More than a second.
That's all right, Mike. Take your time. We have until the 16th.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
We do have. I mean, what? How can it take this long to upload a cover? Let's see.
I know. The great thing, by the way, is Mike's company does the Done For Me newsletters twice a month. And my job is to open up the email from Carla the Magnificent, who does them, and look them over, edit at will, send them back. Yes, they're approved. And, like magic, every other Thursday they appear on LinkedIn. And and I've told Mike before, if I could do a newsletter myself, but if it's up to me, it's not going to be, because I could never I don't have that quite. I'm a comic. I got no work ethic. I don't have that kind of discipline. I need somebody to do it for me.
Yes, and I like that because you're well. This is not loading. Maybe it doesn't want to do it on the fly. I thought we could have some fun. But anyway, the information is below to sign up for the webinar. And it's going to be action packed. We're going to go through those three secrets deep into a lot of different strategies and tactics on speaking and building a very easy and quick and highly engaged list so that you can grow your business. We're going to break down $180,000 business as well. So we're going to also have more information in the coming week as Frank and I are scheduled to go live again on Friday. Anyone that wants to ask us any questions for us to cover anything on the next live on Friday, go in Frank's messages, send Frank a message and say, hey, Frank, I saw you guys live. I got a question. You got any questions? We're here live. We want to add value. We also want you to come on to the webinar. So that's important. We're going to create an event when I can get that thing to upload in LinkedIn. That is going to be the event of the webinar. So that page will be available. And likely, if you're watching this, you'll get a message or two from Frank and I in your message about the webinar.
Mike,
So, yes.
looking at all the messages in the chat. And by the way, people have been signing up, and I've been getting those emails. And that may, for me, become a full-time job. I may have to have another hour of VA to handle traffic just for this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have my VA start answering questions because I wouldn't get any sleep.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, one of the things that we teach is the concept of your highest income producing task.
Yes.
Looking it up online. This I got directly from John Asseroff when we were partners because I guess the people that were his mentors kept pushing him to make sure during the day you're doing that. And so you're exactly right. And we cover this during the webinar, but there's a lot of different things that we can choose to do throughout the day. Some of them will be attached to revenue. Many will. So the bottom line is focus on things that have the opportunity to create revenue or create content or leverage that will create opportunities. And right, I don't want to spoiler alert, but you got 7 that you're going to list. We have a workbook when you sign up also. Where is our workbook? Hold on a second.
On my desktop.
Yeah,
those 7 things. Those things are all revenue producing things, except number 7 is go to the gym and work out. That's good for my mental health. But the other 6 are things that generate revenue. Those are the first 6 things I do every day. And you know what? If I don't do anything else that day besides those 6 and work out, over time, it will pay off in spades.
Yes, and that is the one thing that has been not good for me is that I have been a workout maniac my entire life. And when I met my wife, I stopped working out. And then my hip was bothering me for multiple years and really hurt. What's this? Oh,
that's my bodybuilding shot from July at 66 years old.
Let me get rid of this. Stop sharing. So it can make it bigger. That's
The body's mine. The tan is fake.
Yeah, Frank showed up. I remember Frank showed up at one of our client mastermind calls, and we had, I don't know, 15 or 20 people on the call. On the treadmill, and I didn't understand why. I didn't know that you were a professional bodybuilder, and I didn't understand why. I guess you're the only outfit a professional bodybuilder has, besides no outfit except those little skinny things, is a tank top that doesn't exist. It's like these tiny little strings. So you were on the treadmill, and we had a full room of all of our clients, and I mean, obviously no one knew that you were doing that, and you showed up.
Yes, and Mary said, You got to turn your camera off, Frank. Those shoulders are distracting me.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Mike, I've only got a minute left. I got a coaching call with a bunch of clients here at the top of the hour.
Perfect. Let me. I just wanted to do this last thing here
Okay.
and share the screen because as soon as you do sign up, we put together this workbook that actually goes along with the webinar, and that wasn't the workbook.
Yeah, it covers everything in the webinar.
Oh, it does. I skipped right
in
by it. Let's fill in the blanks, cover everything in the webinar. Anyway, I want to let Frank sign us off.
Well, here's the deal. Here's how a comedian would sign us off. If you enjoy what we have to say today, please sign up and join us on the webinar on the 16th or the 19th, depending on who you believe, and tell your friends. If you don't want to sign up for a webinar, well, we hope you have no friends. Kidding.
That would be a big opportunity lost if you had a lot of friends and you didn't sign up for the webinar. That's really that's painful.
It's the 19th, contrary to popular belief. Tuesday the 19th.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Over and out. And everyone have a great, great day. And we'll see you on the 19th.